Hey, what's up? Anybody got any questions? How's it going? How's it going? It's going great. It's going great. What y'all got going on? Anything cool happening? I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Anybody get a chance to watch any of my videos? Are you familiar with my videos? Hey, thanks for the gift. But I'm not here for gifts. I'm here to talk about controversial subjects. I'm here to talk about faith, religion, science, politics, conspiracy theories, controversial subjects. Things that you should never talk about openly in a mixed social gathering. Yeah, nice to meet you too. Oh man, I gotta zoom in on this stuff. Notify your followers to join the live. Yeah, sure. Notification. All right. Okay. Rosa Marine. All right. Is that Gabriella? Okay, so I'm going to go over today the subject of how do we know the Earth is young? How do we know how old the Earth is? The Earth does have time clocks. It does have a way for you to know how old the Earth is, okay? And the way that you know how old the Earth is number one, human history, okay? Our human history, human civilization, written history, okay? So I'm talking about people whenever they learned how to write, okay? Dates back about 6,000 years. Hey, Maria Castillo, how you doing? Are you a flat earther? Are you what do you believe? Are you a young Earth creationist? What do you believe, Maria Castillo? So, anyways, number one is human history. The written human history dates. It only goes back about 4,000 or 5,000 years. Okay, that's absolute historical fact. Flat Earth, that isn't a serious position. Oh, yes it is. Yes it is. And I can answer any questions that you have on the subject. I'm here to talk about these controversial subjects. And I'm specifically here because I can't get booted off of this. They won't boot me off. So they have told me I can talk about anything as long as it's not like absolutely horrible stuff. And Flat Earth is not an absolutely horrible topic. It's not controversial. It is disproven. Right? That's the mainstream narrative. That is the mainstream narrative. Yeah. So, okay, I guess we're going to be talking about Flat Earth today. I guess. All right. So, number one, Flat Earth is, okay, not a disk orbiting the sun. Flat Earthers do not believe, okay, what you have been taught about Flat Earth is things that, Flat Earthers don't actually believe. Alright? Like, everything that you know about Flat Earth probably extends back to the 3rd grade whenever you were learning about Christopher Columbus and he sailed the ocean blue and he proved the Earth was round. And before that, everybody thought the Earth was flat. And, what's your position on Jewish space lasers? Space doesn't exist. But they do have, they can hang anything up on balloons. They have, they still, I think that they still use dirigible technology. And of course they have airplanes. They have airplanes now that can stay in the air indefinitely. The airplanes never have to never have to land. So they can put lasers up there. I believe that is real. Yeah. So, right, space doesn't exist. All right. Oh, you know what? I need to get my model, get my little. I'll be right back.
Where is Barry? Stand up. Look at him. They're comparing Trump and his conduct.
Space doesn't exist. Here's what we believe. Okay? Everything that we see whenever we look up is contained inside of what the Bible calls a firmament. The Bible says that the firmament has pillars that the firmament itself sits on. It calls it the pillars of heaven. And the firmament, it extends out. It might be bigger than this. We don't know how big the firmament is. Is the moon in there? Yes. The sun, moon, and stars are all contained inside of this dome. So the firmament, it's very simple. The sun and moon are much smaller. They are much closer. The sun, moon, and stars, and they're not solid objects. There's some sort of plasma, or there's some sort of projection that we can see. According to the Bible, the Jews are the chosen people. Yes. So that's how space actually is, okay? Space is not a place that we can go to. The firmament is divided into 3 sections. Why does everyone disrespect the Jews? Yeah, I don't know. They are in positions of power, and whenever you're in a position of power, you have to make tough decisions that nobody likes. How about that? Is that a good answer? The Rothschilds, they are Jews, or at least allegedly they. Okay, why do you think they are in positions of power? Well, I mean, the Rothschilds, they claim to be Jews. They claim to be Jewish, right? They helped establish the Jewish state, and they are like the Rothschild. I mean, like they're like the world's richest bankers. They basically manage everybody. They're like our managers. Okay, that is only one family. Well, they have to. Yeah, there's more. They aren't even the top people in control. There's like, there are people that are above the Rothschilds. I mean, I do know that, but they're called the elites, the elites, the elites. You know what I'm saying? The elites, the elites. So it's like, the Rothschilds are not the end all. They're, they're a family, and but they're managers. They manage us. Okay, does your family think you have schizophrenia? No, nobody thinks I have schizophrenia. My family believes the same way that I do. We're all flat earthers. And by that, I just mean my dad, my mom, my sister. We know it's flat. That is nuts. Okay? Then that tells me that I think that tells me that you haven't researched this subject very much. Unless you know something that I don't know, and you can educate me. So, what do you got? What are we talking about? Flat Earth or Jews? Let's have it. I'm here to talk about controversial subjects. So, the dome probably, it definitely covers all 7 or all 6 continents that most of the human population live on, and the dome extends out to beyond the shore of Antarctica. Antarctica is not a continent. It is a ring. It is a boundary. And what is beyond the beach of Antarctica, we don't know. We don't know. It's just, we are told that the ice that composes Antarctica goes up about 2 miles. It's a steady climb that goes up about 2 miles. And it's covered by ice, by 2 miles worth of ice. And it's an empty, barren wasteland. And a lot of conspiracy theorists believe that there are civilizations that are covered up by the ice. So, there's civilizations out here. So, no space, no infinite space, and outside of you can't even go outside of the atmosphere. We don't have capsules that are strong enough to go outside the atmosphere. Just like if you use a submarine and try to go up under the water, once it gets dense enough, it'll crush the submarine. I mean, I believe that, James Cameron went down to the deepest part of the ocean, and they actually had a submersible that could protect him and keep him alive. James Cameron, I believe, yeah, sure. They built something that's strong enough to withstand the pressure at, that depth. But it's like, if you were to go deeper than that, you would need something that is even stronger and can withstand the pressure even more. Does that make sense? So, it's the same problem with with a space capsule. If you try to go above the atmosphere, hey, +1 joined. All right. What does +1 joined mean? Okay, anyway, B-ball, 1124. Hey, what's up? All right. Hey, I appreciate your questions, Charles in charge. I appreciate your questions. I appreciate your input. So anyways, the problem is whenever you go up higher and higher in the atmosphere, the air pressure inside the capsule or the balloon even, just think of it in terms of a balloon, okay? The air pressure is the same no matter, whenever you get up higher and higher, the air pressure is the same. It's pressing outwards, and the problem is there's less and less air pressure. It's like think of it whenever you're underwater, the outside presses more and more. As you go up, to the surface of the water, the pressure is less and less. So it's the same thing whenever you're in the air. Whenever you go up, you're on the surface of the earth. You get in a balloon, you go higher and higher, the balloon expands. The reason it expands is because the air pressure outside the balloon is not pushing on the balloon so hard. This air pressure outside of the balloon is less and less as you go higher and higher. So the air pressure inside the balloon, it's not increasing, but it's pushing out harder and harder on the balloon because the air pressure outside the balloon is less and less. Same thing with a space capsule. The higher you go with the space capsule, the less pressure outside of the space capsule exists. And so eventually the air that's in the space capsule will find the weakest point, and whenever you get a leak, it explodes. It does not it doesn't just like leak out and then you develop another leak. Oh no, and then you develop another leak, and now you got a whole bunch of leaks. No. One leak. That's it. One leak, and you're doomed. That's it. It's done. It explodes. It's not like, being in a pressurized atmosphere and then the pressure is pushing out. The pressure is pushing out. Okay? At every point, it is pushing out in all directions. So, as soon as the leak, as soon as you develop one leak, that's it. The whole thing is like a balloon. It doesn't matter if it's metal. It doesn't matter what it is. Okay? It is violent. So, that's what happens whenever you have, like, a canister. Just a canister on the surface of the earth. You start filling it with air, or you start filling it with some gas. A pressurized canister, you start filling it with some gas, and it fills up, and the canister pressure becomes so high. If you hit that canister at any point, all of a sudden that canister goes, but it just flies. And like, there's nothing that's going to stop. That canister acts like a rocket. It just, that's it. All the pressure just, and it's worse. It gets worse. The less air pressure you have outside of the canister, outside of the capsule, it gets worse. The more the air will explode. Okay? I hope y'all. I know that there's got to be some people out there who's going to get this. So, anyways, that's the reason. But that is the reason that space isn't a place that we can. First off, space as presented in Star Trek and Star Wars and stuff like that doesn't exist. But that's the reason that space isn't what we see as the area where the sun, moon, and stars exist. It's not a place where we can go, because you will never be able to make a canister that won't pop, that won't develop a leak and explode. So that's the reason that there's no such thing as actually getting outside of the atmosphere into a vacuum area known as space. See, atmosphere is always pressing out in all directions. And that's the reason that a dome is a good explanation for what we are living in. The atmosphere, whenever it stabilizes inside of the canister, inside of the capsule, inside of the dome, okay, the atmosphere will always layer out the gases, the lighter gases go to the bottom, the heavier gases go to the bottom, the lighter gases layer out on top until you get to the lightest gas. But the thing about the gas is that it's always pressing out. It's always pressing out. So that's the reason that the Bible says we have a firmament. You can't have air pressure next to a vacuum of volume. Okay, you're a flat earther. Yes. Yes. That's what I'm trying to explain. Yes, that's what I'm trying to explain. We're on the same page, my friend. Flat earth. What is your name? Flat earth deplorable. Yeah. Yeah, me and you are on the same page. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to explain. That's why I'm saying that we gotta have the firmament dome, because the air pressure, it pushes out in all directions. It does layer out inside of the dome. I mean, like, you could get in a plane and you could look down and see that the atmosphere absolutely has layers to it. Absolutely. There's no question about that. But that's what atmosphere does in a closed container. Atmosphere layers out, and the dome is a perfect explanation for why the atmosphere doesn't escape. It's contained by the firmament dome. It's actually evidence that we're in an enclosed system. The atmosphere layers out. The heaviest elements of the atmosphere goes to the bottom, and the lighter elements layer out in the dome, in the capsule, until you get to the lightest elements at the top. But it's still constantly pressing out. That's what gas does. And so what's it pressing out on? It's pressing out on the firmament. The firmament keeps it contained. You have to have a container for gas pressure. Correct. Thank you. Thank you. That's right. We're on the same page, flat earth deplorable. Exactly. You have to have a container for gas pressure. That's what the firmament dome does. It gives us the container for maintaining the gas pressure. That's actually a strong evidence that we are living in an enclosed system. So, how about that? What other subjects do you want me to cover? Curvature? You want me to cover Coriolis effect? You want me to cover... what else do you want me to cover? It's a second law of thermodynamics violation to say that we can have air pressure next to a vacuum. It also violates Boyle's gas laws, also violates several other laws too. Entropy, yes. Entropy. That's right. The gas pressure, you cannot have pressure without a container. That's correct. So that's right. That's what that's what I'm trying to explain in this video. So, let's see here. I covered Antarctica, explaining Antarctica, North Pole. And that's another thing. You can't go outside. You can't go to Antarctica, and you can't go to the North Pole. Those are closed off to the general population of Earth, of all these, everybody who lives on these continents. It's closed off to us. We can't go to the North Pole to see what's there, to make sure that what we're being told is true, and we can't go to the South Pole to make sure that what we're being told is true. We can't go to the Antarctica. Yeah, just look up the Antarctic Peace Treaty. Every nation on the earth has signed it, and all of them have agreed that, you know, that nobody's allowed to go to Antarctica. So, anyways, I think that's a wrap. Anything else you want to cover? Okay, I do want to cover another thing. I believe that the Earth is approximately 6,000 years old. And the reason I believe that the Earth is 6,000 years old is because of the human records. Humans, all of our writing only goes back about 5,000 years. Before that, you find cave drawings and stuff, but there's no way to date that. God created the earth with the appearance of age. Yes, he created the earth with the... Did he? Did he? Because we can't say that for sure. What if he didn't? What if he didn't? I mean, we've been through Noah's flood. That was a huge cataclysm, you know, that makes the earth look really old. And does it look old? I mean, it doesn't take that long for the earth to erode. Erosion can take place. A lot of erosion can take place in just 100 years. Did he create the egg or the chicken first? He created the chicken first. He didn't create the egg because you got to have you got to incubate the egg. If you don't have the chicken to incubate the egg, then the egg will never hatch, or the life inside will never survive. Got to have the chicken first. I mean, like, what egg hatches without the mother to incubate the egg? And of course, I'm just talking about chickens. There probably, I don't know, there might exist some egg out there that, you know, some life out there that hatches eggs, and, you know, you don't need the mother to take care of it. Okay, he created the earth with age. Wait, you don't know that? You don't know that. Plants, not seeds. Okay. Yo, whoa. Good point. Yeah. Whenever he created Adam and Eve, he created full-grown plants. Yeah. He created full-grown. Adam and Eve could walk, talk, act, reproduce on day one. Yeah, that's right. They were full-grown. They were full-grown adults from day one. I agree, 6,000-ish, but it was with age. Okay, yeah, we don't know what the earth looked like before Noah's flood. Can we agree on that? We can agree on that, right? We don't know what the earth looked like before Noah's flood. All right? So, the earth, but the reason that we know it's 6,000 years old, okay, now I've already listed off reason number one, which is the age of our writing history. You know, we could go back about 4,000 or 5,000 years with our writing. All of our writing goes back. Our oldest written records go back about 4,000 years, 5,000 years. Okay, and that's right about when Noah's flood happened. You know, we might have some writings that Noah kept with him on the ark, and they survived the flood. And that might be like the story of Odysseus, Gilgamesh, or something like that. Okay, and we might have some writings that survived that. That Noah had with him, and he brought across with him, that was preserved on the ark in Noah's flood. And then all the other writing goes back, it just dates back to after Noah's flood. Okay, reason number 2 that I think the earth is 6,000 years old is because of the bristlecone pine tree. There is a bristlecone pine tree that it is dated to be the oldest tree on Earth, and it's dated to be about 4,400 years old. You could go look it up. The oldest tree, bristlecone pine tree. There is a tree that is about 4,400 years old. And of course, they will say that there are some trees that you can use to date back with, what's it called? Tree ring dating. And these trees date older because we can tell by tree ring dating. And if you cross-reference different tree rings, and you can tell that these trees are older, or something like that. But the oldest confirmed living tree is the bristlecone pine tree, and it's about 4,400 years old. That dates back to the Noah's flood. Whenever you take into account, okay, the Bible has approximately 2,000 years of history, well, more like 1,600 years of history, and then after the Noah's, and that goes up to Noah's flood, and then it goes up, and then it goes from Noah to Jesus, and that's approximately 2,400 years, and then since Jesus, it's been, a little bit over 2,000, which is where we are today. Sediment layers doesn't have fossils below a certain depth, showing it's not millions or many thousands. Correct. That's right. But it doesn't matter anyways. The Noah's flood could have, the Noah's flood could have covered the earth with mud that goes way down. It could be deep. It could be really, really deep. Yeah, thousands of years old. That's right. It could be really deep. Noah's flood could have covered the earth that goes way down. It could be really, really deep. Hey, I might not understand everything because I got autism, but I love to hyperglycate on fossils. Is that hyperfixate? I love to I think you mean hyperfixate or something. I don't actually know what you're saying there. Yeah, but you like to hyperfixate on fossils. You like to think about the age of fossils and stuff like that. Yeah. So yeah, we do find fossils in the dirt, and I think that we're being lied to about dinosaurs. Dinosaurs, as depicted by evolutionary biology, did not exist. They're lying to us about that. I think that it was dragons and giant animals. I think giant animals existed. Everything was giant. That's what I think. And they're just, whenever they find a giant fossil, then it was, they're attributing it to dinosaurs, but those dinosaurs didn't exist. And so if everything